everyone, in today's video I will give a brief introduction into the universal literature. Let's start off with epic genre. It is defined as a long narrative poem recounting heroic deeds, although the term has also been loosely used to describe novels. Its characteristics are that it mixes legend with history, putting both at the same level, causing the myth and reality to merge and look like they are the same. It was verbally spread. The use of epithets. An epithet is an adjective or a phrase that functions as an adjective that is not entirely necessary to describe the noun but is used to magnify or enhance one of its features. The gods are characters who appear and coexist with humans. One of its main subgenre is epopee, in which the adventures of a hero are told in a poetic narrative. In many Eastern countries, they created their own epics. Some of them are Egypt, Mesopotamia, China, India, Babylon, Hebrew people. Its main representatives are Virgil and Homer. Virgil was an ancient Roman poet of the Augustus period. His Aeneid has been considered the national epic of ancient Rome. Homer is best known as the author of Iliad and Odyssey. He was believed by ancient Greeks to have been the first and greatest of epic poets. Age of Songs. In the Middle Ages, which starts when the Roman Empire fell in 476 and ends with the fall of Constantinople in 1450-300, there were several elements that influenced the literature. The genre that proliferated was the epic, written, and verbal. The heroes were exiled and the glorious nations felt glorious and anxious to hear the adventures of its characters. At this time, epopees were called songs of heroic deeds, referring to the stories that spoke of heroic themes. The song did not have a single author, a community composed them. It was a process that would gradually idolize the leaders of a nation, making them heroes. The poem of Cid, written in the middle 12th century, roughly between 1140 and 115700. It was based on a real person, Rodrigo Diaz de Vivar. The poem recounts the adventures of Diaz de Vivar. The poem has three parts: El destierro, the exile; Las bodas de las hijas de Cid, the wedding of the Cid's daughter; and the afrentada, the corpse affront. The Songs of Nibelungs. It is called the German Iliad. The composition appeared in the late 12th and early 13th century. It is unknown who is the author. It serves as a national epic, where they recount adventures and ancestors of the Germanic people. The Songs of Roland. It has 4,002 verses, distributed in small stanzas. It is believed to be inspired by an event suffered by the army of Charlemagne.
The Renaissance. It is the transition between the Middle Ages and the modern age. Renaissance literally means rebirth. It refers especially to the rebirth of learning that began in Italy in the 14th century, spread to the north, including England, by the 16th century. One key characteristic of the Renaissance was the idea of the divine right of the kings to rule. Another was the development of humanistic ideas such as the dignity of man.
William Shakespeare is considered one of the most important writers of the literature. His plays are various genres. He wrote comedy, drama, and tragedy. The different categories: tragedy, Hamlet, Macbeth, Romeo and Juliet; comedy, A Midsummer's Night's Dream, The Merchant of Venus; and historical dramas, Henry IV, Henry VIII, Richard III.
Spanish Golden Age. It was called the Golden Age to the stage that begins with the birth of Cervantes in 154700, culminating in the death of Pedro Calderón de la Barca in 1680. Its literature is characterized by patriotic and religious fervor, heightened realism, and a new interest in earlier epics and ballads, together with the somewhat less pronounced influence of human.
Spanish Golden Age was a time of great flourishing in poetry, prose, and drama. Miguel de Cervantes Saavedra was born in Alcalá de Henares in 1547. In 1605, he published Don Quixote, or the ingenious gentleman Don Quixote of La Mancha. Don Quixote begins as a parody of novels and chivalry. Lope de Vega is one of the most important dramatists. He is known as the creator of the new comedy in Spain. He talked about popular issues, made theater more attractive to the people of all social classes. Some of his plays are Fuente Ojebuna, La Dama Boba, La Viuda Valenciana. Those have been the past periods in which literature had advanced, making what it is now. It started with stories about heroes, tragedy, aspects of life, and bringing comedy up to notice.